It is 2 a.m. Your desk is buried under complex macroeconomic curves, and you are staring at the wall wondering if you have what it takes to stand on a global podium. You put in the hours, but in the back of your mind sits a persistent fear, locking up when it matters most. This competitor has a near-perfect academic record and every textbook definition memorized. But despite that preparation, they are experiencing a mental shutdown. Facing a hostile panel of corporate case experts, their competitive trajectory is dissolving in real time. This happens because of a widespread assumption that winning an Olympiad is a simple function of raw IQ and endless cramming. In a classroom, that might work, but high-density linear study targets static recall. When that brain is suddenly subjected to the stress of a live interrogation, the cognitive load spikes. The very methods used to prepare actually prime the mind to crash under pressure. To prevent a performance drop-off, the standard high school model of absorbing information must be replaced. Survival in this arena requires a shift toward a tactical strategy built for high-stakes execution. Elite performance begins with how you approach individual decision-making. At this level, foundational literature is no longer a homework assignment to be summarized. Profit equilibrium hinges on marginal revenue equaling marginal cost. When production volumes change, profit margins shift, requiring immediate adjustment to maintain the firm's balance. Internalizing this mathematical optimization allows you to use standard theory to deconstruct complex monopoly designs and solve structural crises. But even a mastery of microeconomic theory fails to translate to the podium if you cannot apply it while the environment is shifting around you. If you hesitate when confronted with rapid financial engineering problems, the technical accuracy of your previous answers won't save your score. High-level competition demands quantitative agility, specifically the ability to calculate the time value of money under time pressure. When interest rates fluctuate on a market graph, the present value of future capital must be determined in seconds. This means portfolio profiles, the management of stocks, bonds, and derivatives, are tools to be deployed under volatile conditions, rather than concepts to be studied passively. While speed solves market volatility, raw numerical calculations can still lead to the wrong conclusion when you are diagnosing a multi-layered corporate emergency. Calculations are easily misinterpreted if they aren't placed within a broader context. A company's revenue might be climbing, but without a structural view, you could miss a competitor's move that makes that growth unsustainable. By breaking a corporate crisis into distinct, non-overlapping divisions, you ensure every variable is addressed without redundant effort. Bridging the gap between theory and these real-world applications means backing every recommendation with empirical curves and a rigorous cost-benefit analysis. Even the most organized strategic framework will collapse if the person presenting it has ignored their own biological limits. High-density academic jargon and linear sequencing fatigue the human working memory. If you are still cramming in the final hours before an event, you are actively draining the cognitive reserves you need to stay sharp. As the working memory fills with data, cognitive friction increases. This exhaustion forces the brain to blunder during live simulations, neutralizing months of preparation. Reaching this biological limit makes further study counterproductive. To perform at your peak, you have to change how you handle the final 48 hours. The 48-hour rest mandate requires all academic preparation to stop exactly 2 days before the competition begins. This lockout period is a tactical choice. Halting your study allows for cognitive recovery, ensuring executive functioning and lateral problem solving are available when the pressure is highest. You build the stamina for this by logging flight hours in smaller-scale university tournaments. This adapts your nervous system to the psychological difference between solving a model in your room and executing it under a strict countdown. Ultimately, success relies on managing mental endurance and recovery. Pushing through with brute force intelligence alone is a recipe for a breakdown. Elite economics tournaments are battles of strategic attrition. They test who can maintain structural discipline while their rivals' cognitive reserves are being drained by the clock. Preserve your energy by ignoring rival performance. Do not waste cognitive resources tracking opponents who seem flawless. Focus on the strategic execution of your own paper. Build your accountability right now. State the competition tier you are targeting in the comments below and commit to the 48-hour rest mandate. By combining refactored theory, structural agility, and cognitive discipline, you transition from a student who studies economics to a competitor ready for the podium.